Could you tell us specifically about your role in conceptualizing open-courseware? Um, and then tell us a little bit about why OCW is an important thing to have in the world. Um, I'm thinking in particular about your thoughts on ways it might be complementary to MOOCs and not in competition.
So I was asked to serve on a faculty committee back in year 2000 by then President Chuck Vest. And the charge to our committee was to come up with a new strategy for e-learning for MIT. Everyone else was doing e-learning. MIT wasn't. And so the president felt that we should come up with a new and bold idea for MIT. Of course, year 2000 was still the era of the .com days. And so the assumption going in was that we would create an MIT.com and enter into some kind of venture. Maybe take up the materials that faculty created and sell them. Okay? That was one idea. But as we got into the discussion, there were maybe 7 or 8 of us. It got smaller as the months went by. It became apparent to us that the idea of MIT.com was not the right idea. There are a number of reasons for it. We interviewed about 60 organizations that were doing e-learning. And from those interviews, the one thing that we learned was that this is really a tough area to do business in. That was one question that we had. We did try to build business models. We had Booz Allen Hamilton people helping us. And we worked very hard at creating a number of business models. We did lots of surveys to get credible data. And the business models that we were able to create, the most credible one had us starting year 1, and about year 5, we'd break even, which is not unusual for a venture. But the problem with that business model was that after year 5, it was sort of flattened. Right? There's no this sort of hockey stick uptick in revenue. And we thought, if we're going to do something, we wanted to see at least the potential of having major source of revenue that could help MIT. It didn't seem to be there. The most important reason, though, was that we interviewed about 60 faculty members who had already put up their materials on the web, on their own. And we wanted to see what their motivation was. If we're going to do MIT.com, we need to understand the faculty's motivation. And so we interviewed every one of them. And without exception, they told us, 1, they were doing this to try to improve their classroom teaching. 2, they are not getting compensated. And 3, that they were sacrificing their own time, research time, time with their family, to do this. So this is, where you find MIT faculty's real commitment to teaching. And that's what we found. And when we discussed this in the committee, it was October of year 2000. This was the last meeting before we had to start writing a report to President Vest. We said, it doesn't seem right that we would take teaching materials from these faculty members who are committed to teaching and taking that and turning it into business. And so that was pretty much the final thing we needed here to say no MIT.com. But we had to report to the president and give him some bold idea for MIT in the e-learning space, and particularly based on what the 60 faculty members told us about the MIT faculty's very deep commitment to teaching. We said, why don't we create a system that's exactly the opposite of what we started with and what the rest of the world was doing, and say, we're going to just give it away. Just give it away so that anyone, anywhere in the world can take advantage of MIT faculty's commitment to education. That's how we started with OpenCourseWare.
Do you feel that OpenCourseWare still has relevance?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you look at OpenCourseWare and see why it's been so successful and why it has resonated with the faculty. I remember just a few days after MIT announced OpenCourseWare, and it was a front page article in the New York Times, a young faculty member came up to me and said that the day MIT announced OpenCourseWare was the proudest day of his career at MIT. Okay? Why did he say that? Why did it resonate so much with the faculty? The reason, I believe, is because OpenCourseWare is not just OpenCourseWare separate from MIT, but OpenCourseWare is very much a mission that MIT has as an institution. Okay? If you look at the MIT mission, not the OCW mission, MIT mission on the web, it says that MIT is committed to generating, disseminating, and preserving knowledge, and to bring this knowledge to bear on all the great challenges of the world. MIT has traditionally fulfilled that requirement, that mission, with basic research. But now with OpenCourseWare, we can also fulfill that mission with our teaching by disseminating and preserving our teaching materials.
That's great. Thank you. I find that inspiring. I'm highly motivated to get up every day and come to work because of what OCW does and how it fulfills the mission. So
It's one of the most important things that MIT, look, I mean, think about it. What project do you know? What project do you know that has full participation of the faculty? 75% of MIT faculty, regular faculty, okay, and others have contributed to OpenCourseWare. I know no other project anywhere in the world where such a huge chunk of the faculty have decided to participate in a project. It's because it really does tap into our values as MIT faculty, this idea of openness, this idea of sharing, this idea of preserving what we produce. When you look at what's happening in the world now, you see that institutions like MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, okay, they are all producing digital content and sharing it with the world. It's something that we started with OpenCourseWare here at MIT in the year 2001. This is now part of the profile of a top university. You do research, you teach your students, and you share your material with the world. Okay? What I see also happening now is that not only do you share your digital educational content with the world, but you bring it back on campus and use that digital content to transform your own residential classroom. This is sort of the final piece of the loop, which I think MIT is very serious in accomplishing. We produce something like 200 MOOCs, and they are all used, virtually all of them are being used for residential education. And so much so that 90% of undergraduate students take at least one course at MIT that uses the MOOC. OpenCourseWare is used widely by undergraduate students, more so than most people realize. There's not I don't think I've ever run across an MIT undergraduate student who had not heard of OpenCourseWare. They use it sort of like air. They use it to see if they want to take a certain course next semester. They use it to catch up on their own course. They use problem sets from several years ago just to brush up on their own study of the course that they're taking. And sometimes just to look at a course that they know they're not going to take because it's outside of their specialty, but they're just curious about what's being taught in that course.
That's great. I really appreciate those comments about the value of OCW. I know Sharon and I and our team feels like it's really relevant and really important, and we invest so much of our time and passions. We put it all there, so it's nice to talk with someone who feels the same way.
So you think you're going to mess around with my OpenCourseWare? Think again.
Got it. Thank you.
Maybe that shouldn't go on the web, but I don't care if you do.